Hello, my name is Sandra Rochelle. I'd like to welcome you to my channel. As some of you know, I've been posting videos dealing with the issue of a brain tumor that I developed earlier this year that I had removed in June. A lot of things went on. That's what those videos are about. Unfortunately, the tumor came back. I found out about it last week. And so I am now faced with having to deal with 28 radiation sessions, plus doctor visits, plus tests, plus all of those things. The radiation is new. I don't know what to expect. Tomorrow is my first visit with my new radiologist, and I'm nervous. You know, I don't know what to expect. I don't know anything about radiation. And the only thing I do know is that it pays to find out who your doctor is going to be and research your doctors. I've always done that. It has always helped. And I thought for those of you that don't know how to do this, I would take a minute and teach you. It's not that hard to do. It does take some time. So, if you have a computer, which most of you do, you start with a Google search. You get the name of a few doctors that deal with what you are dealing with, specialists in those areas, and you go to a site called healthgrades.com and you look to see what patients had to say about this doctor and how many stars they gave him and what he said and what he did and so forth. But that's not the end of it. You can contact his office, and if you're lucky, someone there will give you information about him. Here are the things that you want to know, okay, about any doctor. You want to know, first of all, where he went to school. If he went to Slobodskaville University, this isn't the guy for you. If you went to Yale, or Harvard, or Princeton, or Johns Hopkins, or some of the better schools and the medical schools in the country, this is someone that you need to start looking at. You want to find out if he practices near where you live, because that's important. You can't always find one near where you live, so you then have to make a decision. Do you want a better doctor, or do you want to put up with someone that may not be great, but who's closer to home? A lot of people can't afford to travel to see doctors. A lot of people do it anyhow. It's a personal decision. For my part, I try to come to a compromise because there are other things that go into traveling in addition to just going to see the doctor. So you find out where he went to school. You can contact the American Medical Association online. Sometimes you can find information there. You can try and find other people who have dealt with this doctor. I've actually had doctors ask those patients, some of his patients who have had the procedure that I'm going to have, call me, and if they will talk to me and tell me what they went through, and some of them have. They've been kind enough to do that. But every piece of information you have is going to help you to know who this doctor is. Now, let me share with you what I've been through finding a doctor to take care of me. So my neurosurgeon suggested a doctor, and he's the one that told me I need this radiation. He does not do that type of work. He strictly does surgery, so he had to send me to someone else. So I went online and I looked this guy up, and very well educated. I mean, he went to Yale is one of his schools. So he's very well educated. He's been doing this a long time, so he has a lot of experience. And I was getting pretty happy, but then I looked into the referrals on him. There were 11 referrals, 32 years, there were only 11 referrals from patients, and none of them were good, and one or two of them were pretty bad. And I thought, you know, I don't know about this. And then on top of that, he advertised himself as a palliative specialist, not as a radiologist. And I thought, that's really strange. Is he a radiologist or isn't he? Well, I checked around. I called my doctor's office back. And the comment that was made to me was, He wears many hats. He meets with us in our meetings. We recommend him to our patients. He's a very good doctor, blah, blah, blah. But he wears many hats in our office. I don't want a doctor that wears many hats. I want to find a doctor that does what I need, does it often, and is good at it, in addition to having these other things that I mentioned. So that kind of knocked him out of the park. So then I got word that there was a woman doctor about 10 minutes from my house that was working with a hospital in Tampa on like a satellite basis, who also was a radiologist. She had a nice educational background. She had about 10 years of experience, so that seemed okay. I could live with that for what I was going to have done. But her people started giving me a hard time about the paperwork I needed to turn into them. I said, all I want to do is have a consult with her. I shouldn't need all this paperwork for that. I mean, I don't mind supplying some records, but this is a bit much. Well, anyhow, I went to the hospital, called the hospital where she was supposed to be working with. They never heard of her. So that killed that one. So while I was talking to them, I said, well, do you do this type of work? And they said, yes, we do. And I said, well, can I come see you? Now, normally this hospital only takes cancer patients. And I had been turned down by them before. And I told them that. I said, but I do have a patient number because the American Brain Association contacted your main person, and he said that you would take me. Well, she checked, and she said, yes, we can take you. And I said, well, what about all this paperwork? You know, they want me. This is something you should know, by the way. If you request your medical records to be sent to a doctor, you have to pay so much a page for them. The least I've seen is 25 cents a page. The most I've seen is $1 a page. Today, they got over 200 pages of medical paperwork on me. But fortunately, I told the woman this, and she said, don't worry. She says, I'll get it. I said, well, they said you can't because of HIPAA. She said, I'll get the paperwork. Don't worry. And boy, did she. The next day she had it. So I found a good doctor. The doctor who's going to see me is the head of the entire department. He has years of experience. He has all kinds of training, has won all kinds of awards. He's a top-notch hospital, and that's who I'm going to be seeing tomorrow. Am I nervous about what he's going to say? Yes, because I don't know what's going to happen here. And there's a lot involved in getting ready to have anything done in a hospital. At the very least, we have to gather all of our paperwork together. We have to make sure we're there on time. I've never been to this hospital. We have to find where everything is. I have to have my questions written down so I know what to ask him. There's a lot of stuff. So we're nervous, but we know we're in good hands, and that really puts us at ease. I strongly advise any of you that need to see a doctor for anything really important. For little stuff, it's not so important. But when you get into heart problems and brain problems and spine problems, you need people that know what they're doing, and it's up to you to find out, because they're all going to tell you, oh, we're great at what we do. Our patients are always happy with us. That isn't always the case. And remember, you only get one shot at it. You go in there, like for brain surgery, you get one shot. Radiation, you get 28 shots, so that's a little bit better. But even then, you need someone who's good. So keep that in mind. That's your little lesson for today. I'm feeling a lot better about stuff, but tomorrow's going to be a long day. I'll let you know what happens. Have a good one.